Hi everybody, this is Charles Morgan from ComicWeek, and this is my review of Brian Azzarello's Faithless 2. Although I was intrigued by Brian Azzarello's Faithless before the comic was released, my initial read of the series' first issue didn't do much for me. It's not that I didn't dig Maria Llovet's rough-hewn yet delicate illustrations. I find her a talented artist, who some readers might know from her 2017 run on the indie comic series There's Nothing There, published by Black Mask Studios. In Faithless, she further develops as a graphic storyteller and presents a world that reminds me, in more than a few ways, of the early films of visionary director Pedro Almodovar. It's just that for issue 1, I never really connected with the title's lead character or fully understood her motivations. Azzarello's Faith is a woman who is heavily interested in the occult and black magic, yet doesn't have more than the basic grasp of its spells or implications. In one scene from issue 1, she is literally drawing an occult symbol. In the story, it's referred to as a spell, based on an image that she found on the internet. When one of her friends asks her what kind of spell she's drawing, she answers with a complete lack of certitude. Her friends ain't too hip with this obsession either. Her friend Aya leans in and remarks, "Luckily, your magic shit never works." So, if Faith isn't exactly a master spellcaster, then what is she? Through a series of intimate moments, we learn more. She's adrift in life and broke. She does have a pickpocket's penchant for plucking wallets, but she's great at pool, but little else about her really stands out other than she's sexually frustrated and apparently able to get extremely turned on after witnessing a man take a dive off of a tall building. If this character was going to be the vehicle through which Azzarello is going to take us on a journey of faith, sex, and the devil, I wasn't sure at this point, after reading issue 1, how long I'd want to stick around. But after reading the second issue, I can safely say I'm hooked. Issue 2 is titled 5 Points. The story begins with Faith waking up from a dream. Llovet pulls us through the windows. The reflection of the outside light resembles sharp white teeth. Faith is alone, save for a contented cat sleeping at the foot of the bed. As Faith sits up, she sees a winged wolf with red eyes growling at her. This is her first cognizant encounter with the supernatural. You may recall at the end of the first issue, her bed partner wasn't exactly what Faith thought she was. But Faith had her eyes closed and didn't see Poppy's body dissipate into a mass of maggots. She dismissed this all as a dream and a vision, and in a flash, the winged wolf was gone. Bathed in electric light, Poppy's art studio apartment is transformed. Faith makes her way into a magnificent dressing room wonderfully appointed with French furniture and $1 million wardrobe. Broke Faith takes to a mirror and weighs her choices of evening wear as she sets to join Poppy at the party. This is the party depicted in Paul Pope's booty-popping cover, but unfortunately for Faith, she is so unsure of herself that she can't seem to let go in this way. And it's in this state of nervousness and awkwardness that my perception of the character changed. She's gotten the attention of demonic forces not because she's a bad person, but because she's vulnerable. Oftentimes, this vulnerability comes out in Llovet's illustrations. In one scene, Faith runs into a dreamy singer of a famous band. Before they can have a moment, the singer's handler interrupts him and tells him that it's time to go on the stage. But before he leaves, he turns around to Faith and says, "No more apologies." A string of diagonal lines across her face informs the reader that Faith is blushing. From here, Faith follows a track that seems preordained, and the wheels in your head as a reader start to go off. All of it, this entire setup, is a supernatural manipulation of reality done so as to extract something from Faith. She's a mouse in a trap and she doesn't realize that yet. Once this piece clicked for me, I went back to the first issue and gained what I thought was a better insight as to what was going on all along. Delving into the final set piece of the issue would probably give too much away, and you really have to see it for yourself. It's doubtful that you'll be prepared for it, and I found it to be hilarious. It's certainly for adults only, as is the whole series. Suffice it to say that Azzarello has a devilish sense of humor, and Llovet is his eager accomplice. In Faithless 2, the story begins to take shape and the reader is presented with enough information to get a sense of what kind of character Faith is. As for what Azzarello has in store for us, as we descend further and further into hell, who knows? It's probably going to be a wild and bumpy ride. Our Comic Week review score for Faithless number 2 is 8.6.